My parents said I had to be respectful to my mom's friend's daughter even when she humiliated me over my Chinese, but I finally snapped, and now I'm the bad guy in their eyes. Posted by you/Everlong Memories. Quick background: I was born and raised in the UK, but my parents are Chinese. I know how to speak Chinese since my parents' English isn't very good, but I don't know how to read or write it. I would like to say I'm pretty fluent. I'm able to converse and understand others fine, and most Chinese people I knew outside of my family thought my Chinese was good or at least better than they expected for someone raised in the UK. I do occasionally make grammar or vocab mistakes when I'm talking about something in Chinese, but in a general conversation, others do get the gist of what I'm saying. Recently, my mom invited her friend and her daughter from China to stay at our house for a while, and I really don't like them. I speak in Chinese to accommodate them and even translate stuff for them, but whenever I make a mistake, they double over laughing at me. I initially tried talking to my parents about it, but all they said was that they weren't exactly wrong since I did make a mistake. I wanted to confront them too, but my parents always stopped me and told me it would be rude and disrespectful to Mom's friend, and also how her daughter is just a kid. To clarify, her daughter is 19. I don't really see Mom's friend that much since she spends time with my mom, but the daughter tags along with me a lot because we're a similar age. But I can't ever talk to her without her ridiculing me and laughing at my Chinese when the biggest issue is just saying the wrong word or something. She also started correcting me by yelling at me the proper word to say or the perfect pronunciation of a word if I ever slipped up. She laughs at the fact I can't read or write Chinese. And it just kept building up since my parents told me not to say anything, otherwise she might cry. I eventually lost it when she yelled at me condescendingly again because I mispronounced a word. I yelled back at her that my Chinese isn't perfect since I'm born and raised in the UK, and it's rude she does this whilst knowing that. She tried responding with something about how she was trying to help me, but I shut it down. Eventually, she started crying and ran to her mum, which got me in trouble with my parents. To clarify, I don't mind if someone corrects me, but normally it's very non-intrusive in a conversation. With this girl, she stops the conversation to yell at me. My parents and obviously the friend and her daughter are upset, but my brother said she was rude and it was going to happen sooner or later. My brother doesn't live with me, so currently, everyone in the house is all awkward and standoffish to me, and it's been making me feel slightly guilty for yelling like that. Am I the jerk for yelling at a girl for constantly correcting my Chinese? Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Speak to her in English. The girl is in the UK now, let's see how she gets along without you translating for her, shall we? Your guest could have corrected you without insulting or laughing at you, or politely ignored your little mistakes entirely. She isn't your teacher, and you aren't her student. But yelling at you condescendingly? This is not the way to get people to go out of their way to help you. Oh, hell no. And now she cries and runs to mama. Oh, boo-hoo. I roll my eyes. Commenter 2. I agree with your brother, it was bound to happen sooner or later, and honestly, I think the way you responded was perfect. You gave her the same treatment she's been giving you, which she deserved. And I can't believe your parents are defending her by saying she's just a kid when she's 19. That's ridiculous. Ops response. Thank you for your thoughts. The just a kid defense is kind of baffling to me too. I didn't mention it in the original post since I didn't think it was that relevant, but the girl does this whole cute act. I don't really know how to describe it. She talks in a high-pitched voice and acts very childish in front of my parents, which may be where the kid thing came from. This is just an act though, since I've seen her talk normally to other people. Update 5 days later. Hi, I just wanted to give an update on what has happened since. It's not a huge update, so I'm just posting it here in case someone wanted to know what happened. The next day, following the advice of many commenters, I simply stopped speaking Chinese in the house. At first, the girl and her mum seemed to genuinely think I had somehow forgotten Chinese and didn't understand them. They found it funny whenever I just looked at them with a confused expression, but then it soon hit them what I was doing, and they clearly did not find it that funny from then on. I know it's petty, but it made me smile. The mum barely spoke English, so she just gave up on talking to me or asking for help. The girl had learned English in school, so she tried speaking to me in English, though she was clearly uncomfortable about it. She wasn't that good either. I felt like correcting her like she did to me would be a jerk move, so I didn't do that. Instead, I just pretended not to understand what she said if she made a mistake. She gave up after speaking some English and just spoke to me in Chinese, asking why I was being so mean and weren't we friends? She went to her mum again to complain, and then my parents were really upset with me, my mum especially, because I guess she thought I was going to be best friends with this girl or something. My parents complained to my brother about it on the phone, and my brother told them off and picked me up to stay with him for a bit, at least until they left. I don't really know why my parents thought my brother would agree with them when he has been treated like that before, too. For the rest of the days they stayed, they were apparently pretty miserable and didn't really enjoy the rest of their trip since I wasn't there to show them around the UK and translate for them, according to my parents anyway. My parents drove them to the airport and then stopped by my brother's and gave me a letter written by the girl before leaving. My brother wants me to stay longer with him. My parents said something about how the girl was so nice and sweet and still wanted to be my friend. I didn't really want the letter, but I took it and opened it after my parents left. It was completely in Chinese besides her social media tag to keep in touch or something. I will not be finding out what it says anytime soon. Even without the language thing, the girl and her mum were pretty unpleasant and rude, so I'm glad they've gone home. Thank you all for your comments, they definitely made me feel better and significantly less guilty, so I appreciate it. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Those are the worst kinds of guests, someone from your culture who, instead of trying to bond over the shared language and customs, decides to lord over their superiority as an attempt to feel better about themselves. Honestly, Op is a better person than me because I definitely would have taken jabs at the other girl's poor grasp of English.